Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. Today I'd like to follow up on a couple of videos that I did last year about losing when advocacy for right to repair, as well as a California right to repair bill that passed. I'd like to go over how companies are going to be complying with this law, and I'd like to just give one example of a canary in the coal mine for what I imagine we can expect from many other companies. Right to repair is the concept that you should be able to fix what you own. That companies should not go out of their way to hide access to parts, documents, schematics, and so on and so forth for you to be able to fix your personal property. And whether we are talking about Samsung charging $206 for a battery for a phone that you could get on eBay for $120, or we are talking about a number of different examples I've provided on this channel, we have not really made much progress. And in the video that I did last year, I took accountability and responsibility for the fact that I really just have not gotten done what I sought out to get done. On this channel, as early as 2014, 2015, I was talking about these issues and trying to advocate for right to repair to move forward. I have done a lot of lobbying. I've shown up at legislatures. I've done my best to raise awareness on this channel, not just by talking about the issue, but also by demonstrating through thousands of videos and hundreds of repair guides how you can benefit from repair in your own personal life without ever paying me. In spite of over 10 years of this advocacy work, there's less available now than there was 10 years ago. Customers and repair shops alike are worse off now than they were 10 years ago. And while there are certain parts here and there that you may be able to get access to, for the most part, most of what it is that is necessary to be able to perform repairs that are economically viable for you, whether you are the end user of the product trying to do a do-it-yourself repair, or you are a repair shop, have just kind of dried up and gone away. And I want to talk about one particular company here that, again, I believe to be one of the canaries in the coal mine for what we can expect from most companies regarding this right to repair legislation. In my opinion, we can expect half-assed programs at best and malicious compliance at worst. And I'm going to give you an example of this with a company not like Apple, where I've had not so nice things to say over the past 10 years, but with a company that I've had good things to say about over the past 10 years. And that company is Hacko. If you take a look back at this video that I did almost 10 years ago, the tools I use and why I bought them, I am going over a lot of my Hacko equipment in the description, and I go over why it is that I paid extra money for a Hacko hot air station, extra money for a Hacko soldering station, and I suggested that anybody that was serious about this type of repair consider doing the same, because while these tools may cost a little bit more money, they are quality tools that are going to allow you to do your job a little bit better than if you buy a lot of the cheap-ass junk. Not just with regards to the tool genuinely being better, but also with consistency. You could buy 100 of these stations and get 100 good stations, whereas with a lot of the cheaper stuff, you could buy 100 stations and, a lot of them are going to work very, very differently as a result of them being cheap. In most of my repair videos, and admittedly, even in the repair videos that have been done within the past year, you could see that in the video description, I am linking to a lot of Hacko equipment. A individual Hacko station, a dual Hacko station, their micro soldering pencil, their hot tweezers, their tips, because I genuinely appreciate using a lot of their particular tools. In recent times, I have done interviews where not interviews, I've done reviews, misspoke there. I've done a lot of reviews of their stations where I provided them with positive reviews for what it is that they've produced. In recent years, they have not exactly been as good with what it is they've produced. I did a video review here of one of their stations after they told me that I was doing a disservice by not going over some of their newer tools on my channel. Disservice is not exactly the wording that you want to use when you're approaching somebody with the hopes of getting a positive review for your product. I do provide honest reviews for products in this channel, and I do go over products that I believe are worth going over. Hacko's old products, worth going over. Hacko's new products, not so much. This is a hot air station that costs over $800. And as I go over in this review, this station not only has a worse interface, it's like a 1980s alarm clock where you don't just have a knob or an up or a down. You have to hold the button down and then go up and then hold the button down again, hit up or down for each digit of the temperature you want to set. But that station is actually less powerful than stations that you can buy for $200 to $300. And when you take a look over here, this station costs you over $800. Now, granted, the station that I'm selling over here, I'm not able to get access to the schematics from the damn manufacturer, which kind of makes me sad. But when you're talking about right to repair and you're talking about quality products in general, you could literally buy 4 of this station for the price of one Hacko. When Hacko charges approximately quadruple what it is to purchase a station from another vendor, you would kind of expect to get something better when it comes to being able to have access to schematics, diagrams, and everything else versus a station that, again, costs 1/4 the price. So let's see what it is you're able to get from Hacko. I'm going to show you the story here of one of the viewers of my channel, Ryan Labs, and I'll link his channel down below, who has been trying as hard as he can to be able to get access to some of this stuff and kind of been a thorn in their side given their stance on this particular legislation. So here he tried to get Hacko to provide some documents, parts, such like that. And Hacko says, as I mentioned over the phone, I personally do not find your request unreasonable. However, I am limited with only that which Hacko in Japan will provide us. So this individual is really trying to help this customer, but Hacko does not really want to help as much. So he has provided information on what Tormach and Miller has done, and he is trying to use that to present to Hacko that they should make some of this stuff available. As you can see here, he says that he is making progress. He believes the CEO is on board, but will still have a hurdle for the parent company in Japan. Now, note that I've been in contact with two major competitors where we have their equipment from 2014 and no schematics available. Only one provided a service manual. We may well be in the lead on this issue, but the hurdle is the sound argument that schematics are not considered trade secrets or otherwise protected. I need legal precedent that shows it as a losing argument. And, he's kind of going on to discuss how everything is working there. Over here, this is almost 1 year later, and he says corporate headquarters is still working on putting together repair manuals that can be used. We will be opening a second on our online knowledge base at kb.hackousa.com, where you can make the request to access self-service repair information. And then he says there is one point for clarification we are checking regarding the definition of consumer products, where the vast majority of our products are outside of that definition. We have traditionally been a supplier of quality tools for the electronics industry. Keyword being industry. AKA, you're paying 4 times as much for a Hacko tool that is inferior to the tools that you can get for about $220, and you don't get access to same shit that they don't give you access to. And again, this really goes back to what I was talking about in the video that I did saying reflections on losing 15 years in professional repair, where many companies will try to find a way to end run this particular piece of legislation. And when you take a look at one of the emails that was sent back and forth that I'm pretty damn sure was not supposed to go to him, you see the idea here. So this is the quiet part out loud. I do not believe that the representative at Hacko intended to send Ryan Labs this email, but we're going to read it because I think it is very telling. Thank you. I was expecting him to be the first request out of the gate today, and the information we have provided is on our website. Once he registers for this, it will be made available. Note that schematic diagrams are not required to affect repairs, so we will be providing more comprehensive documentation prepared by Hacko Japan for customer use. Unfortunately, Hacko Japan has not prepared the manual for the FX951, FM204, and FM205 that were part of his request. I have passed the request to Hacko Japan to fulfill. His request for the FM202 is out of scope, as the unit was discontinued back in 2007, and the repair we made in 2021 was using discontinued inventory. Also, Hacko Japan has interpreted the Business and Professional Code as California as a possible exclusion for our products, which are industrial tools. For many decades, it has always been communicated that Hacko provides superior quality tools for the electronics industry. And I would expect him to pursue this further, and I'm afraid Hacko Japan will be pressed to provide more information at a faster rate. And they're going to try to get around this, as most companies are going to try to get around this. As you see over here, they are going back and forth, and this is, again, continuing about 1 year later. I am forwarding you this email that Chris sent just a few minutes ago, right around the time we're speaking, and over here you can see that they finally added a right to repair and repair manual access to their website, which is cool. It seems like this is progress, like finally we're getting something done. And you can see over here that Hacko added a statement to the website, which is pretty cool. Right to repair and repair manual access. July 1st. You may notice that I'm reading a PDF rather than accessing this page on the website, and we're going to get around to why that is soon. Embracing the right to repair for our customers. American Hacko believes strongly in providing quality tools for the electronics industry. That industry has grown over the years to cover a wide gamut of customers, including large industrial and commercial customers, government and military agencies, and consumers with a wide range of skills covering a broad market of products and arts. American Hacko has, for many decades, supported Hacko and CHP brand products with arguably the most customer-favorable repair policy, with a flat labor rate of $10 per unit for any requested repair, regardless of the time needed to diagnose and make any repair, plus the cost of parts. American Hacko has also led efforts to continue the development of the next generation of our products to leverage the investment made by our customers and maintain the expectations of durability, longevity, and serviceability that the Hacko and CHP marks have come to represent in the 21st century. American Hacko supports the right to repair for our customers. We believe that customers should have the option to repair their products themselves, have knowledgeable and skilled individuals or service companies perform those repairs, or choose to send their products to us for a fair and reasonable service experience. To enable customers, as well as independent repair providers, providers to repair our Hacko and CHP brand products, American Hacko is committed to making available to them parts and repair manuals used by our own technicians to make repairs. All such parts and repair manuals will be available to our customers and independent repair providers in terms that are fair and reasonable, using the vocabulary from the bill. All such parts and repair manuals will be made available to our customers and independent repair providers. Okay, I just already read that. My brain is broken there. There are no specialized or custom tools needed to service our products, which I appreciate. Repair manuals shall include information regarding repair parts, tools to use, tests to be made to confirm performance, diagrams of assembly, needed post-repair inspections, and wiring diagrams. While there is embedded software, the software will be made available for download on the site, along with software and instructions on how to load and/or update the software. If the embedded software cannot be reasonably loaded and/or updated, American Hacko will provide full replacement boards under fair and reasonable terms. There are no special service codes or reporting output by our products, and all error codes are already listed in the standard user manual. American Hacko believes that when our customers have the option to repair or have repaired their Hacko and CHP products, it supports the sustainability of our products rather than having them discarded, and thereby promotes a renewable economy, reducing electronic waste and minimizing the environmental impact of our products. American Hacko strives to put a smile on our customer faces, and we only want a positive relationship with our customers. We believe that by making these resources available, we are demonstrating our commitment to the quality of our products and our dedication to our customers, their satisfaction, and ultimately to their loyalty to the Hacko and CHP brands. American Hacko recognizes that repairing our products is often the most cost-effective than purchasing a new product. When we produce products, we anticipate that repair parts will be needed over an estimated 7-year product life. This anticipated 7-year product life allows us to provide you with our most customer-favorable repair services, which in turn allows our customers to extend the useful life of their products while saving money. While we transition into this new era, rest assured that our newest generation of products will embrace the right to repair of our customers. At the same time, we will continue to develop resources to support our older generation products to do our best to extend their service lives. In the event that self-service and/or independent repair resources are limited, American Hacko will work with you on a case-by-case basis to provide a fair and reasonable solution to our service needs, your service needs, or replace your product on fair and reasonable terms. Your satisfaction as our customers and maintaining your loyalty to the Hacko and CHP brands are what we value most at American Hacko. To register for the access to repair manuals information, please send an email request to tech support at Hacko USA along with the model number and serial number of your products so that we may provide you access. And to be 100% clear here and fair to Hacko, I genuinely believe that Chris Stuber believes in this. He is simply hamstrung by the policies at his company. We all have bosses and we all have to deal with disagreeing with our boss. For example, the work that I do at Futo, I believe I can do great work at Futo. I can get projects like Image funded millions of dollars. I can send $200,000 to create open source wheelchairs. I got $1 million to advocate for right to repair. A lot of the work that I do there is awesome. At the end of the day, I am an employee, and when I push for changes regarding things like a license, it may take a little longer than I want for some of those changes to get done. I do believe that Chris is a well-intentioned employee at this company that believes in right to repair. He is simply caught between the rock and the hard place, similar to where I was when it came to licensing issues at the company that I work for. As you can see here, Ryan Labs then seeks access to repair documents for third-party service of Hacko products, and he offers some products that are really not that old, in my opinion. You see a lot of repair shops with these on their bench. And he gets access to this. It says over here, please register for an account online at kb.hackousa.com so we may activate your access. So over here you can see in the knowledge base, it says right to repair and repair manual access, which we just read. And as time goes on, thank you, your account has been added to the repair manual section of the knowledge base sent to Ryan Labs. When he goes to the repair manual section of the knowledge base, and as you can see here, he has something very similar available to him as what I get when I ask Texas Instruments for a CD3217, or I knock on Intersil's door looking for an ISL 9240, or ask Apple for a schematic so that I can provide repair and data recovery to their products, which is Bupkis. No results found. 0 repair manuals. As you can see here, he emails back, apologies for the inconvenience. Please check again to confirm the repair manuals are visible on your end. And again, he gets access to nothing. Nothing. After there being nothing available, you may notice here on the knowledge base that the article on right to repair has been removed from their website. Unfortunately, a screenshot was not taken. He did take a PDF of it. And if there is any way for my audience to utilize archive.org or one of these other tools to try and get access to that particular page, that would be lovely. As I say on this channel very often, do not trust me. Look things up for yourself. I do not expect that you trust me simply because I provided a PDF of that particular page. If you know a way to get access to that so that you can prove for yourself that I'm not making up that that page was there and then was not there, I would highly appreciate it. I like the knowledge to be able to do so. As you can see here, there's obviously this kind of idea within the company that people that are looking for compliance and right to repair are a pain in the ass, that people that are looking for access to these materials are a pain in the ass. And again, something tells me that that email was not meant to be CC to Ryan Labs, that was probably meant for internal use. As you can see as well, that the attempts to comply with this are, in my opinion, fairly half-assed for a company that charges 4 times as much as their competitor for a station. I have no problem with you charging almost $1,000 for a station. I have mild problems with that station being worse in both performance and in user interface than a station that costs 1/4 as much. Again, the idea that you are still using that alarm clock interface, where instead of going up and down to set temperature, I have to hold the star down, then wait 3 seconds, hit up, then hold the star down again, wait 3 seconds, and then hit up on the second digit, hold the star down again, and then hit up several times on the third digit, and then hold star down again. If it annoyed you to listen to that, can you imagine what it's like to actually do it? To charge 4 times as much as the competitor and have essentially a very similar access to manuals necessary for repair as that competitor kind of sucks. Again, to be clear, I am not a fan of the fact that I cannot get a schematic diagram for that. That does not make me happy. However, I will also consider the compromise that this thing that I cannot get a schematic or a diagram for does cost less than like 30% the cost of the other unit that is also not giving you access to the stuff and pushing back in a very similar way when it performs just about as well. This unit comes with a 1-year warranty from us, and if you purchase it from us and have an issue even a couple of months outside the warranty, even some people have been a year outside the warranty, a lot of the time we just swap the station out for free. In my opinion, as I expressed in this video, Reflections on Losing, 15 years in professional repair, I think I lost where I take accountability. I don't say we, I don't blame others, I blame myself. This is what most companies are likely going to do. They are, whether they're saying something like this is for industry and the law doesn't say for industry, so we're excluded, or you have companies that just say, well, you asked for the manuals, you didn't ask for the schematics, so here's a manual that tells you how to take the screws out of the bottom of the case rather than the actual schematic that's necessary to do an economically viable repair. This is what I expect that you should see more of from every company. It is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it is what we get. I also believe that the end result of this is going to be repair shops being portrayed in a very bad light once repair shops are no longer economically viable to run because you do not have access to what is necessary to be able to do these types of repairs. For instance, this is a 1-star review that I received recently, and I believe this 1-star review was completely earned. In fact, I'm quite aggravated at the fact that this customer turned this 1-star review into a 5-star review because this 1-star review that I received was 100% earned as a result of the fact that we provided a very poor experience to this customer. We used to stock our parts. We used to have hundreds of screens in stock at the store for every single brand of laptop, over 6,000 brands of laptop with a cross-compatibility list. We had your LP133WP1 TJAs, your LP154 WT1 TJA1s. We had your N156B6 LOB and your N156B3 LOBs if you had an Acer 5517, because the Acer 5517 was a crossover year model where you could have an N156B3 LOB if it was a fluorescent backlight or an N156B6 LOB if it was a LED backlight. We had a part for everything, and because we stock parts for everything, we could do repairs within 20 minutes. Further, since we were buying the part by itself for $30 to $72, sometimes $100 for the really expensive ones, we were able to offer you an economically viable repair. Nowadays, we can only buy used parts. The used parts are on the used market, which means the availability is always subject to change, the parts quality is always subject to change, and the part price is always subject to change. So when it takes a week or two to get a part, and it's going to take time, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, and if I try to order direct from the manufacturer, I'm going to get told through the IRP program that to order that particular part, I have to join a program where I do not get access to any of these schematics or diagrams and chips that I need, and I'm no longer to access those parts in my repair shop because I will fail an audit if I do so and be in legal trouble. We offer a really bad experience to customers on that front. And my website has been edited to tell you not to come to us for screen repairs because we suck on that front over a year ago. As a result of these repair programs coming out, consumers are going to be under the false idea that we have access to things that we do not have access to. They're going to be under the impression that we can get access to these. And the reason that we are offering these repairs with long turnarounds, with crappy parts at crappy prices, is not because the manufacturer has gone out of their way to destroy the repair ecosystem. They're going to think it's because we suck. And I'm probably going to see more of that over the next several years. And once we get to the point that I believe that we do not offer a good value to our customers on a majority of the repairs, I will admit that the manufacturer has won and I will shut down my business. That is something that I am seeing as a genuine chance of happening over the next 1 to 2 years if we genuinely cannot get access to anything that we need in order to repair these products. I will shut my business down before I become a business that offers bad service to customers that is inferior to what you can be provided by the manufacturer over a large plethora of different types of repairs. I do not want to be a crappy shop. I want to be able to end on a high note rather than a low note. Ideally, we would not have to end at all. But again, many of the things that I have discussed in this video, again, this is going to be the repair landscape for the next several years, regardless of the legislation. You are going to see more $206 batteries. You are going to see more companies explain, here's how we are exempt from this law. You are going to see more companies doing the South Park cable guy thing and doing this. It's not going to be Hacko by itself. And again, to be clear, I am not trying to single them out. I'm simply using them as an example of how these programs are going to go. You are going to request access to a program and you are going to get something that looks like this. Bupkis. You are going to ask for access to the program again, and you are going to get access to something that looks like this. Bupkis. And then when it doesn't work after 2 or 3 attempts, after 1 year of somebody going back and forth with them, 1 year of going back and forth with them, they are then going to delete all evidence from their website that they ever kind of supported right to repair. Like you can kind of see over here that it's added, and you can see over here that it's not. And again, like I think Hacko's made a lot of good stuff, to be clear. In my videos over the past several years, positive review, Hacko, better deal than JBC, same performance. Over here, I'm literally telling you in my modern repair videos, I use Hacko tools in my repair shop. I like several of these Hacko tools in my repair shop. Over here, I'm telling you why you should pay extra for a Hacko tool at your repair shop. I want to be able to buy tools from companies like this. I am okay to spend more money. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to get access to this stuff, why not buy a TS100 soldering iron where you can plug in the same tips that you would use in a Hacko soldering iron for a fraction of the price? You're probably not going to get access to schematics and diagrams for this particular thing over here, but it does cost $80. If you're going to not get access to a lot of this stuff anyway, in my opinion, you might as well buy the thing that's $80 rather than the equipment that is $250 to $300. Because if you're going to get that low level of support, then, you know, it really doesn't make a difference at that point. Again, if you can buy 4 of this for the price of 1 of this, again, I would rather live in a world where I could get everything I need for both. But if I can't get what I need for this, what's the case to not buy this? Think about it. Think about it. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. And while I genuinely appreciate Chris's advocacy within the company, I really appreciate that, and I do not want to blame him for this. I highly suggest that people let Hacko Japan know that if they want to charge quadruple the price for their products, that you expect more from the repair manual section of their website than nothing. Which I think is reasonable. Not just reasonable, fair and reasonable. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you are a repair shop owner, do you think that going into the future that this business will be less viable as a result of you not being able to get access to what you need? And more importantly, do you think that you will have experiences like this where, let's just be real, these customers are 100% correct to 1-star us for the crappy experience we give customers? Do you believe that you're going to have people leave you 1-star reviews for the lower quality experience that you're able to offer your customers now versus what you were able to offer 3, 5, or 7 years ago when it was fairly simple to stock parts, it was fairly simple to buy them at affordable prices, and it was fairly simple to perform those repairs with new parts at affordable prices within 10 to 30 minutes rather than go through the dumpster diving bullshit that we do now to buy expensive parts that are used that a lot of the time just don't even work. The really sad part of all this, the part that just kills me, is the fact that not only are the manufacturers winning, but there's a good chance of the manufacturers winning and making us the bad guy. That's the part that's sad. You know, there's one person on Reddit this morning I was responding to that was talking about how we're a bad deal and we're like lying and screwing over people and all this other stuff. And he brought up a good point. He really did. There was one point he brought up that was damn good. He was bringing up how a repair for a particular model board was $600. And one of the things that I was saying is, if you take a look on archive.org, for that particular, for most of the models, we used to offer board repair for $250. Some $325. The reason the prices have increased as much as they have is because, well, we used to be able to purchase donor boards for $10 to $25. We used to be able to buy the chips we needed for anywhere from $2 to $20. We now have to buy a donor board that costs $300 to $400 for a single repair. A single repair, a donor board of $300 to $400. Often, several times when we've purchased these donor boards, as you know, not all boards are fixable, which means that we have a sunken cost of $300 to $400 into a repair that may not even be successful. A $5 to $10 chip and an hour of my time, fine. An hour of our time and a $400 board, that's going to affect the prices that we can bill the customer. When the customer sees that independent repair is getting more and more expensive as a result of this stuff not being available, they're not going to blame the manufacturer. They're going to blame us. And at the end of the day, if we're not good at communicating why this is, the manufacturer is going to win. And I do believe that the manufacturer is going to win. I believe at the end of the day that they're all going to win and that I'm going to lose. That kind of sucks. A little blackpilling. Just a little bit blackpilling after over a decade of trying to produce free repair guides, free repair videos, advocating for this as an industry. Yeah. Ah, well. See you in the next one. Lastly, today we're going to discuss this video's sponsor, Darren at Authorize.net. Authorize.net is a merchant services solutions platform, and every single time that I have had to call these people for any sort of customer support, it has been completely miserable until a few days ago. A few days ago, I called and I was lucky enough to get a gentleman named Darren on the phone. Darren knew how to solve my problem. Darren solved my problem in 10 minutes or less when that type of problem would usually take several hours. Darren was knowledgeable, kind, and polite. 99% of the time, when somebody asked to speak to a supervisor with regards to a customer service representative on the phone, it is to bitch them out, it is to complain, and it is to try to get them fired. However, nobody ever tries to speak to a supervisor when the customer service representative has done a good job. I tried to do so, and after waiting on hold for 10 or 15 minutes, Darren got back to me and said unfortunately his supervisor wouldn't be able to take this call. Because why would the supervisor be available to take a call when it's something good from a customer rather than something bad? So I told him that I would tell 2 million people that he did a good job. And after telling him this, I told him, you take this video and you show your boss that the only reason that my company is actually staying with Authorize.net is because of the quality of his particular customer service. And I told him that I was going to do this and tell 2 million people. You bring that video to your boss and you tell him that you're worth a raise or at the very least a good mark on your record as an employee so that if anything goes wrong in the future, they can look at this and see that other people think that you've done a damn good job. I think he probably thought I was fucking with him. I don't think he actually thought I was serious, that I had 2 million subscribers, or that I would tell all these people about him. The only reason I'm giving you his first name without his last name is because he said that they're not allowed to give a last name over the phone. So hopefully that Darren remembers that I told him in the next video that I did on this channel that I'd be giving a shout out. So hopefully Darren remembers that I told him that I would be giving him a shout out on this channel, finds this video and shows it to his boss so that he could get either a good mark on his record or a raise. When you deal with somebody who works phone customer service, it is very important to understand that they spend their entire day getting bitched out for stuff that is not their fault, for company policies that they did not make, for mistakes that somebody else made that they will never have to be responsible for, but the customer service representative does have to be responsible for. So every time you speak to a customer service representative that does a decent job, you should try to ask to speak to their supervisor to let them know what a good job they've done. And if the supervisor doesn't pick up, well, I'm lucky enough to have 2 million people I can say it to. So I hope Darren's supervisor knows that I think he did a damn good, amazing job and that I would not be staying with Authorize.net if not for his level of customer service and assistance and knowledge. So thank you, Darren. And everybody like Darren that does these low-level jobs that are necessary to keep society running at a very high standard when your employers likely don't treat you to a very high standard. Even though you think that your job may be inconsequential, your job in doing your jobs properly not only affects the person that's calling you, but it also affects the 6 or 7 people that depend on that merchant services account working so that they can actually get paid at the end of the week. Doing your job properly is something that very few people appreciate, but I want to let you know that I appreciate it, and I hope that more people out there appreciate the jobs that are being done that may not be the most paid, that may not be the most prestigious, when those are the jobs that are necessary to allow society to continue to function. Thank you very much for the good job that you did, and as always, I hope you learned something. This here is an LG G3 OLED television that also has cat scratchers on the side. That's my way of trying to bribe my cat into not scratching my speaker. We'll see if that works. In all seriousness, this is in the menu of this television. If you go in this at any one of the default profiles and you go to privacy and terms, what you'll notice with a smart television is there's an option called do not sell my personal information. And because we live in a dystopian world, this option is not by default checked. It should be the default when you pay over $3,000 for a television that you do not sell my personal information. But even when you pay that much for a television, the default is that they will sell your personal data, which is why you should never connect a television to the internet, particularly when these televisions have microphones built into them that allow them to listen to what it is you say in your living room. There are many other settings hidden in here that talk about being able to see what it is you're watching or what you're doing, to be able to make recommendations to you and personalize advertisements to you if you browse around the television. And 100% of those options is the consumer unfriendly option, and the advertiser grabs your data, sells it, and uses it however they please option.